Having traveled for 3 weeks so far, there are a couple of lessons that I've learned, things that are good tips, I think, and so I'm going to share those with you guys so that hopefully you can have a good time traveling if you do that in the future and learn from my mistakes rather than making those mistakes yourself, or learn from my successes and do the same thing. So the first lesson that I've learned is bag your electronics. Put them in a Ziploc bag and keep them there if you're not using them. So this came up because one day riding on the bus, I have my day pack. And in my day pack, I keep my Camelback, so I have some water in there. Well, wouldn't you know, this one day I'm there and the end of the hose on my Camelback comes off. This bit pops right off. So now my Camelback is pouring water out everywhere. I had no idea it was happening. The people behind me are like, oh my goodness, the floor is all wet. Is your water spilling? So I look and sure enough, my water's going everywhere. And of course, that's the one day that I also have my laptop with me in the bus rather than in my bag underneath the bus. So the only thing that kept my laptop safe was the fact that I keep it in this bag. So get a big bag and put your laptop in it. That was the difference between me having a ruined laptop and losing everything I had up to that point as far as pictures and videos and all of that, and having a wet outside of the bag that I could just dry off and then my computer was fine. So lesson number 1, bag your electronics. Lesson number 2 is have a place for everything to belong and keep it there. This came up, my magnetic sunshades that go with this pair of glasses. I posted on Instagram about those. They're super cool, little magnetic sunshades that just clip on and clip off. So throughout the day, I would have them on, I would have them off. Sometimes I'd put them in this pocket, sometimes I'd put them in this pocket, sometimes I'd stick them in this little Velcro thing, sometimes they'd be in my pants pocket, sometimes they'd be in my backpack. So they were always somewhere different, and I never really knew where they were, so whenever I was looking for them, I'd have to look a couple different places. And with them not having a place to belong, they got left at a hostel. So, yeah, because I put them somewhere that, you know, was who knows where, and then when I left, I didn't have a place to check to make sure I had those, so I assumed that they were just somewhere else. Besides wherever I looked, and they actually were at the hostel. So I figured out that night after we had left that I didn't have them anymore, and now I don't have sunglasses. So that's lesson number 2, is have a place for everything to belong, and then keep it there so that you can know if you are losing anything or leaving anything behind. Lesson number 3 is plan ahead a little bit. I've not been planning ahead a lot on this trip because I like the availability of being able to just kind of go and do this here and do that there. And as I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, when we were in Abel Tasman, right by Abel Tasman National Park, staying in Kaitiri Tiri, we had a terrible time with finding a place to sleep because the hostel was booked up and we didn't really plan that ahead. So it worked out fine in the end, but it just as easily could have ended with us not having a place to sleep, and that would have been a hard situation to be in. So at least, you know, book your accommodations a few days in advance so that you know you have a place to sleep, and kind of, you know, just makes things easier that way. So yeah, there you go. Maybe if you don't want to be tied down somewhere, don't book a week at a time, but you know, book a night, but be booking them out a few days so that you at least know you have somewhere to stay. So those are my 3 lessons that I've learned at this point. I'm sure that there will be more I learn in the future, but up until now, just the 3, not too bad. Doing pretty good here. So we'll have more videos coming soon.